What's up, Unstoppable Squad? Today is SmackDown Live under blue lights. And also, just to let you guys know, I'm just by myself. I'm Unstoppable Denominator. Bring you guys SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown Live. We are at 1,000 days as Roman Reigns celebrated a milestone few ever expected to see in the modern landscape of professional wrestling. Friday night on SmackDown, but did so with the uncertainty surrounding the Bloodline hovering overhead like a pregnant gray cloud. Interesting. Following a Night of Champions premium live event that saw weeks of frustration boil over in the form of Jimmy Uso repeatedly striking the tribal chief with super kicks, he ultimately led the Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, losing the two undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Would the head of the table be able to celebrate his milestone achievement, or would the family drama take center stage? Let's find out on today's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Alright, so announced in advance for Friday's show were Roman Reigns 1,000 Days Celebration, Money in the Bank qualifying match, Montez Ford versus LA Knight, Money in the Bank qualifying match, Zelena Vega versus Lacey Evans. So, 6-man tag match, Brawling Brutes versus Austin Theory and Pretty Deadly. United States Champion Austin Theory and Pretty Deadly continue to frustrate the Brawling Brutes Friday night on SmackDown, stealing a victory from Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch in an action-packed 6-man tag. The match and brief promo that preceded it took up a quarter of the show and highlighted two mid-card programs at once, proving to be an efficient using of television time. Theory stealing the win by picking up the pieces, despite having little to do with laying the opposite out. You know, they're leaving out how Austin Theory cut a promo and said that he wants to hold the belt for as long as he can, as long as 1,000 days, 2,000 days, 3,000 days, 4,000 days, even hell, 10,000 days, he said. Theory stealing, okay, blah, 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 but despite a little to doing laying the opposition out was great heel move and further establishments him as a great cerebral and opportunist bad guy. Pretty Deadly's Alton Price and my cat and Kit Wilson are adopting nicely to the main roster, while the excellence of Sheamus remains awe-inspiring, given how long he has been around and relevant. Good stuff here, and the eventual one-on-one showdown between the Celtic Warrior and Theory should be a banger. Results: Theory and Pretty Deadly defeat Brawling Brutes. Grade B. Top moments. An argument. Theory claimed they would have celebrations up to 4,000 days, which I was saying, if WWE keeps giving him opponents like John Cena and Sheamus. Pretty Deadly arrived in new theme music, and it ain't it. Sheamus rocked Theory with a bro kick, but Prince and Wilson pulled the U.S. to the floor before the Celtic Warrior to score the pin. Theory tagged in and stole the pin for the heels, picking up a win he himself did not necessarily earned. The OC versus the Hit Row. On the heels of AJ Styles' loss, boom, 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 boom. Okay, but I don't want to get copyrighted here. Shut up. Why is that still going off? I don't want to get copyrighted here. Oh. It shouldn't go. Come on, I turned off the volume. Come on, shut up. Sorry about that. On heels of blah, 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 Night of Champions, the OC sought to get back to their winning ways. As Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows battled Hit Row, who attempted to make a name for themselves earlier in the day with a social media diss track aimed at the faction. Okay. No pre-show rap could change the fate of Ashton the Edians and Top Dollar, who started aggressively but ultimately fell to their more experienced opponents via the Magic Killer. This was a solid showcase for the baby faces, but Triple H and the rest of WWE Creative are going to have to make it a point to heat Anderson and Gallows back up now that Styles is back, because hold on. Alright, sorry about that. This was a solid showcase for the baby faces, but Triple H and the rest of WWE Creative are going to have to make it a point to heat Anderson and Gallows back up now that Styles is back, because the crowd did not react quite as hot for them as it did the Phenomenal One, who remains the clear star of the faction. Results are Anderson and Gallows defeats Hit Row, grade C. Top moment says Wade Barrett revealed that Hit Row dropped a diss track on the OC earlier in the day on social media, hinting that they were looking to make an impact against the top-tier opponents. Anderson and Gallows flattened Ashton with a Magic Killer for the pinfall victory. After the match, Top Dollar attempted a sneak attack, but Styles flattened him with a phenomenal forearm. Alright, the Grayson Waller effect with Asuka, your new women's champion, Raw Women's Champion. I don't understand why it's Raw Women's Champion when they're on SmackDown. Shouldn't they have swapped the belts? But anyways, Asuka have defeated Bianca Belair at Night of Champions to capture the Raw Women's Championship. But two things were apparent following the events of the Grayson Waller effect. That feud is not over, and waiting in the wings are a number of potential challengers locking to cash their ticket to Money in the Bank on July 1st. Io Sky, Bayley, Shotzi, Lacey Evans, and Zelena Vega all interrupted the Empress of Tomorrow's promo segment with Waller before Belair attacked. The brawl was eventually broken up, but not before the audience was reminded of the ongoing issues between the champ and former title holder. This was an improvement over some weeks in that it got the woman on their television, and no matter how briefly allowed them to highlight their personalities, it would mean more if there were an concrete plans in place for them. But it was an improvement nonetheless, especially since it continued to plant the seeds for an implosion of damage control by way of Bayley's inflated ego and the impact it has had on Sky and her growing frustration of late. Grade C+. Top moments. Asuka, I could not have said it better myself. Waller said after the new Raw Women's Champion cut the first portion of her promo in Japanese. Sky interrupted the proceedings felt like a big deal, even if fans did not react accordingly. Bayley reminded everyone, including Sky, that it is every woman for herself and that she has previously won the COVID briefcase. Shotzi interrupted and claimed she was made for pure chaos before Evans interrupted and demanded that she is saluted. Vega interrupted to set up the first of the SmackDown qualifying matches. This is sick. I love America, Waller said as the women argue among each other. No one is ready for Asuka, the champion proclaimed before Belair attacked and staging a brawl that was pulled apart by referees and officials. Next, Money in the Bank qualifying match. Zelena Vega versus Lacey Evans. Zelena Vega is clearly being positioned by WWE as an underdog, and her performance Friday night proved it as she overcame an early cheap shot by Evans in a dominating showing by the heel to score a come-from-behind victory. The match featured perfectly acceptable wrestling, but it was the establishment of Vega in that role that stood out. If you did not gather it from the action between the ropes, you certainly did during a backstage promo involving LWO and Rey Mysterio. It is a great role for Vega, who has been long underutilized. She is a likable in-ring worker and has the personality to carry her end of this character. Let her run with it and the fans will get on board. Putting her in high-profile matches like Money in the Bank will only expedite things. Results: Vega defeats Evans. Grade C+. Top moments. During the commercial break, Evans rocked Vega with the woman's right, putting the babyface at a disadvantage. Vega slipped out of Evans' grasp and delivered a code red for the pinfall victory. Vega was eaten up for the majority of the match, but all it took was one flash of brilliance. Barrett said on the headset, putting over Vega as a resilient competitor who can absorb and catch an opponent off guard at the right time. Next, we have Money in the Bank qualifier, Montez Ford versus LA Knight. LA Knight joined Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet in the qualifying for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match on July 1st with a win. Albeit Titanium over the Street Profits Montez Ford. The match was solid enough, though hurt by a commercial break. That disjointed it ever so slightly. Still, Knight was able to show off his underrated athleticism and did a damn good job of hanging in there with the often otherworldly Ford. The finish was screwy, reminding fans that LA Knight is in fact a heel while also protecting Ford. Best of all, Knight winning was 100% the right call, as he is as over now as he has ever been, and putting him in a position to succeed now will benefit all involved. Result: Knight defeated Ford. Grade C+. Top moments. The crowd openly booed Ford and cheered Knight during an exchange of rights, lending further surrenders to the ground so well of support for the megastar. Barrett put over Knight's frustration of late over being left off of cards and out of big matches. Knight reversed a roll-up, held onto the ropes, and scored the tainted victory. Roman Reigns celebrates 1,000 days as champion. Congrats, Roman Reigns, on 1,000 days. It appears as though the Bloodline story will conclude the way it started, with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso at odds. Roman Reigns worked with Solo Sikoa to decide Jey and brother Uso, Jey and Jimmy, I should say Jimmy and Jey Uso, suckering them into a false sense of security before the enforcer flattened the brazen and bold Jimmy with a Samoan spike. As the tribal chief exited the arena, flanked by Sikoa and Paul Heyman, he told his special counsel that Jey will fall in line. He won't. Just like he always did. He won't. I'm sorry. He's going to side with his brother. This was extraordinary storytelling, which has been the theme of this storyline from day one. Well, I'm going to tell you guys this. He might side with Roman for a bit, but Jimmy's going to talk to his brother and tell him, look, you can't. It's going to lead up to a match between those two at Money in the Bank. It's going to be a tag match. You watch. Storyline, which has been the theme of the storyline from day one. Jimmy, fed up with disrespect shown to him, stood up for the family and was struck down. Now Jey will have to defend his brother as he did back in 2020 when the Bloodline first formed under the iron fist of the head of the table. To do so, he will have to tear down the same united front he begged all involved to keep intact Friday night. The road to that point should net some fantastic television and make even bigger stars out of the Usos than they already are. Grade A+. Top moments. Triple H compared Roman Reigns to Michael Jordan and claimed WWE fans will talk about the Tribal Chief's run for great generations. The King of Kings presented Roman Reigns with a new Universal Champion, completed with a gold background behind the trademark WWE logo, which looks so shiny and so clean. A lot of people are disappointed. They said it's ugly. I like it. To be honest with you, it's shiny, it's clean. I love it. That's something I would love to have. The Usos interrupted the proceeding heading into the break. Roman Reigns demanded Jay kick Jimmy in the face, but his right-hand man refused. What I would have done, Roman, Jimmy kicked you. Why don't you kick him back? That's what I was saying on my break when I saw it. I was like, why are you having your cousin Jay kick his own brother? Why don't you? He kicked you in the face. Why can't you kick him back? Oh, wait, that's right. You can't because you're the tribal chief. You're head of the table. You're the leader. Oh, that's right. You're a fucking chicken. There, I said it. You're a freaking coward. That's what you are, Roman Reigns. You have to have somebody else do your freaking job. Because you're such a coward. The Usos interrupted proceeding, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The only one who needs fixing is you, Jimmy told his cousin. Which is true. I am not going to lie. It is true. Sikoa appeared to have chosen his brothers over Roman Reigns, but the camera work in his body language gave the impression something was up. After imploring Reigns to continue running atop the WWE mountain as the Bloodline, Jimmy embraced his cousin, only to be told no, as laid out by Sikoa. What happened to Jay? Paul Heyman asked. Jay's gonna do what he always does. Fall in line, Roman Reigns responded as the camera panned to the right-hand man holding his fallen brother in his arms. Overall grade to this event. There were bits and pieces here and there to like about this show as a whole, including the elevation of Zelena, Vega, and LA Knight. This was a one segment broadcast. Luckily, it was the one segment that the entire show was built around. The Roman Reigns celebration transitioned right into the latest in the Bloodline drama, and as he has been the case from the beginning, shine the light not only one of the biggest stars in the industry, but the family members he has helped pull up to his level over the course of his 1,000 days as champion. Roman Reigns has established himself as one of the biggest wrestlers on the planet over the last 3 years and one of the greatest to ever set foot in a WWE ring. Part of that is because of his storytelling, prowess, which was on full display on this show. The 6-man tag was good. The qualifiers were okay, but it was the show's closing segment that defined the show as of a result. It earns an above average grade B+. There you have it, folks. Thank you guys for watching. I will be back for AEW Rampage here in a bit. see you at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. I'm Unstoppable. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to become part of the Unstoppable Squad. And I'm out.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Skiz here. And if you don't subscribe to Blonde and the Unstoppable Denominator, then you are a toothy bumfuck, pussy-ass bitch motherfucker.